Hello and welcome to a special LOTRO video with me, Balthelion. So today we're going to discuss the latest producer's letter from Raninia. So this is the quarterly updates from the executive producer, where they just kind of tell us a bit what's going on with the roadmap. And there's some interesting stuff in this latest one, so let's dive into what we've got here. So this is viewable on the LOTRO.com website if you look at the latest news. So it begins. Hello again, it's time to update you all again on what we have going on. Before I get into that, just a reminder that I'm Raninia, the producer on Lord of the Rings Online, and I plan to continue writing these letters to you on a quarterly basis, whereas previously these used to be on a yearly basis. So I think the entire player base is certainly grateful to have more regular updates and better communication as to what's going on. So they continue. With that preamble out of the way, let's talk about what is happening between April and June. So this is the cover that the quarter that this covers. Our next big update of 2022, update 33, is expected for late April, which will kick off our 15th anniversary celebration and bring with it a few significant surprises. So there's a couple of big ones in here, as we'll get to. So firstly, we're adding a new area. The North region, known as the Yondershire, a sparsely populated region of moor, thicket and fen that has long been home to hobbit recluses and troublemakers. So it does say northern region, so I presume this is probably going to be north or northwest of the Shire. Kind of up in those hills, sort of sat kind of between Evendim and the northern parts of the Shire. It is quite possible. And would be nice if it did kind of fit the gap between Ered Luin and the northwestern parts of the Shire, because that you currently have like a little bit of a portal to jump between the two. They're not joined by a continuous landmass, so it's possible it could squeeze in there as well, but we'll just have to wait and see. So we don't have too much information to go on besides the name Yondershire, but they have given us a couple of pictures which we'll look at in a bit more detail in a minute. And they give you a bit of a background for this region. So, since the time of Bulrora Took, the Yondershire has squabbled with the more comfortable parts of the Shire. The upstart Lotho Sackville Baggins aims to bully the local hobbits, but they're none too keen on his designs. Explore the Yondershire and experience some more delightful hobbit adventures, our first expansion of the Shire in years. And there's a couple more screenshots there, so if we have a look at these in a little bit more detail. So the first one we've got is kind of some Hobbit Holes. They're kind of in like a forested area on the banks of possibly like a little lake there, where it seems we might have a little bit of a boat there as well by the sides of a pier. So these could be certain hobbits that do actually like going out boating, which is rare for hobbits. But it's kind of got kind of like a bit of Throgmorton vibes going on. But it'd be interesting to see where this kind of fits in. So as I say, it could be north or west of the Shire. That would be my guess based on what they've told us. But yeah, so it's a different kind of appearance to other parts of the Shire, basically. The second screenshot they've given us looks... At first I thought it was the inside of a Hobbit hole, in which case it's kind of very unique in terms of like colour palette and design. It's kind of maybe a bit more... kind of more almost like race of man type homesteads, you know, like maybe sort of going in the direction of Rohan, but not quite fully Rohan, more like a maybe Bree or Dow type design. But I noticed at the back we do have a bunch of stalls and then some wine and some mugs on there. So this is probably the local tavern, or possibly one of them if there's more than one settlement. But it seems pretty small, pretty cosy, but it's different to other ones, so it'd be interesting to see if there are any other interiors of Hobbit Holes that we get to explore, and if they're kind of a similar design, or whether this is just unique for the tavern. But it's pretty cool looking, something different. I mean, it's hard to see too well, but this I don't know whether it's a plaque, or whether it is literally just a couple of like golf sticks hung up above the fireplace as well, since hobbits invented the game of golf, at least in lore anyway, by whacking off Golfimble the goblin's head and it tumbling down a rabbit hole back in the day. So it's unclear whether those are like physical, like golf sticks above there. Like you would have like little trophies, like where we've got the bull's head over there. But it's quite a nice little touch. And then lastly, we have our third screenshot, which is outside. So this is kind of feels a little bit like Mickle Delving and that, where you've kind of got like the large hills to the side, like the white cliffs and stuff. But it's pretty wide open. There's quite a lot of Hobbit holes, and I mean, you can't see it too well. It's unclear whether some of these are just fully fledged Hobbit holes or whether they're kind of smaller buildings. They just might be really small Hobbit holes. But there's certainly a lot going on. There's like a couple of tents in the background. But it seems like we're having like some kind of like gathering in the town square there. So might be some sort of party or something with all the food on the table. So it looks interesting. So we'll wait to see what the Yonder Shire looks like. But I imagine it's probably going to be similar to the other lower level regions that have been added recently. So we've had the Wildwood in Breeland. We've had the angle of Myth-Eifel in the Troll Shores, and we've now got this one added to the Shire. So it's nice to see some new areas and new content added to older parts of the game, rather than everything being at the level cap. So it'll be interesting to go and have new Shire things to do. Just please God, don't make us deliver more pies and mail, or I might lose the will to live. But even so, it'll be interesting enough to see where we're going with that. And they continue on. So second, we're bringing back the Anniversary Festival, and we're adding a whole new festival instance, a flurry of fireworks. You've been asked to aid with the greatest fireworks display that Breeland has ever seen. Setting up for the fireworks, things have gotten behind schedule and dusk is fast approaching. You must help keep everyone on task and deliver their fireworks to the proper locations on time. And if you're looking for a bit more, we've got an exciting gift to share with everyone, but we'll have more info about that when we get closer to our 15th anniversary. So they're being cryptic about that. There's something big coming with the anniversary, which is not related to the other things which we're about to come to in this letter. So I don't think there's been any hints, unless there's been any hints to them on the official live streams or anything like that. So it remains to be seen what that refers to. Third, we're making some updates to VIP. So if you're a VIP subscriber, some of the smaller changes will stay under wraps for now, but I'm excited to inform you that VIP will now include the standard versions of the Mordor, Minas Morgul and War of the Three Peaks expansions. So just for context, so that is the 6th, 7th and 8th expansions, but not inclusive of the 9th expansion, which is the most recent one, Fate of Gundabad. The reason why it's those numbered expansions we'll come to in a moment, but those ones are included automatically for VIP subscribers, which is nice. So you don't have to do a separate purchase of them anymore, although of course you might still be able to purchase the deluxe versions of those to get the extra perks and benefits. You may be wondering, why only those expansions? Well, that brings me to my next announcement. Fourth, and long requested, we're making some big changes to the LOTRO store. You've seen some of the first changes we made a month ago with the release of Rangers and Ruins, which brought the premium wallet, gold currency cap and virtue, race and class trait slots for free to all players. So that's just another quality of life for players that aren't subscribers to the game, which is a very welcome touch, and everyone was very grateful for that in the most recent update. Starting with update 33, which is when the Yonder Shire comes out, we're making the High Elf race free for all players. Now everyone can play as those who beheld the beauty of Valinor and play as a captain, champion, guardian, hunter, lawmaster, minstrel, runekeeper, warden or brawler through all of Middle Earth. So the High Elf was one of the races that were added after the launch of the game. They were added around the time of the Mordor expansion, I believe. It came out at the same time. So that's not inclusive of the Stout Axe Dwarves. So those are still going to be an exclusive for now. But it's a nice thing to see something else becoming automatically included and free, and certainly for the classes. So the Warden, the Runekeeper, Bjorning. It's nice to see those given to all players now, rather than being gated behind a separate purchase, because it sucks having like a third of the classes being only available if you've spent a bit of money or grinding up those LOTRO points. So again, that's going to be some very welcome changes. And then where are we? So that conveniently enough brings me to the next change. Runekeepers, Wardens and Bjornings now available free for all players to play. Craft powerful runes, create masterful gambits, or summon the secrets of Bjorn as you grow your legacy as a hero in Middle-earth. And if you'd like, you can do all of the above, so you can play them all. Finally, there's another change that is perhaps the biggest change we've made since the Lord of the Rings Online went free to play all those years ago. With this update, update 33, all quests, areas, instances and expansions released between the original launch of LOTRO back in 2007 and up to and including the release of Helm's Deep. So Helm's Deep was originally the level 95 level cap, but its content released before and including Helm's Deep, not everything that is level 95 or below, will be available free to everyone. Quest, explore and craft your way to level 95 to your heart's content. So as I say, it won't be everything below 95, so the likes of the Wildwood, the Angle, it sounds, based on the wording there, that those will not be available as part of that package. But still, there's a huge amount of content in there that is including, you know, all of the original base game, all of the other free regions that have come out as part of updates then. You've got the Mines of Moria expansion, you've got the Siege of Mirkwood expansion, Rise of Isengard, Riders of Rohan, and Helm's Deep, so the first 5 expansions, all included there for free for everyone. And as I said previously, the 3 expansions after that are included for VIP only at the moment, for free, and not as separate purchases. And only the most recent expansion is the one that needs to be purchased separately, although eventually that will be available in the store as well. So it's a huge change. There are so many regions in the game, so it does simplify things. It makes it a lot easier for new players to onboard. So that is a huge welcome change. I'm sure there's been a lot of thought behind that to get to that stage. But this is definitely a huge, most welcome change. And we'll see if it can help bring in some new players into the game, especially as the Amazon Prime show kicks off later this year. So see if that renews some interest in Lord of the Rings based games and stuff. So as part of our celebration, we'll have some more announcements lined up. Stay tuned in April. So April, I can't remember the exact date in April, somewhere in mid-April. I don't know whether it's the 17th or something like that, is the anniversary. So we'll have to stay tuned and see whatever other things they announce. During this time, we'll be making progress on our legendary world of Arnor, bringing players there to Isildur's desecrated fortress of Minas Morgul and level cap 130 on April 13th. Less than a month later, on May 4th, Shadowfax will progress to the fabled stronghold of Rohan, Helm's Deep, and its level cap of 95, which at that point will be accessible to any VIP at no added cost. And finally, at the end of June, Treebeard and Shadowfax will both be making further steps. On 29th of June, Treebeard will be making its second jump, entering the dangerous forests of Mirkwood, and Shadowfax will continue marching forward to the half-ruined lands of Gondor and Old Anorion. Besides all that, we'll continue with our ongoing work to improve performance and lag, keep adjusting class balance, continue bug fixing, further refining the new legendary item system, and bring Season 2 of the legendary item reward track. All of these improvements will arrive with about every patch. We promise that we'll be making some big announcements for our 15th anniversary, and we're confident that we've delivered, but we still have a few tricks up our sleeves that we can't wait to share with you in the weeks and months ahead. 15 years is quite the milestone, and we'll do everything we can to make it 15 more. So it's nice to see that they do have a long-term commitment. But I'm intrigued as to what they could be keeping up their sleeves, because they've obviously done some pretty big announcements with this letter about stuff that's being released and made accessible to everyone. So whatever they've got up their sleeve is presumably going to be similarly large announcements. Otherwise, it's just going to get lost behind how big of a change this is. If it's something minor, people will go, "Well, what was the fuss about?" So I'm interested to see what they do. But whether it could be like announcements of another expansion, it could quite well be the case. It remains to be seen. But otherwise, that's one of the bigger executive producers letters we've had in a while. So let me know what you guys think about it. It seems to be a good step in the right direction, making it more accessible for new players to join, making it easier for existing players to kind of level up through all the many regions, get up to the level cap these days, because the level cap is just getting wider and wider from level 1. It's a lot harder to get to. But yeah, I think it's a step in the right direction. Let me know what you guys think. But until then, I will see you guys next time.